I'm Dr. Laura, and if you're over 60 or love someone who is, this video could change everything. Imagine waking up in your 60s self. You've got wisdom, life experience, and a strong sense of who you are. But somewhere along the way, something shifted. You still love deeply. You want to move with power, confidence, and desire. But your body doesn't always cooperate. Your energy dips in the afternoon. You hesitate before intimacy, hoping everything will work like it used to. You feel a subtle loss of your edge, and you can't quite put your finger on why. You are not alone. John, 72, came into my clinic with tears in his eyes. "Dr. Laura," he said, "I don't feel like myself anymore. I don't chase my grandkids like I used to. My wife thinks I'm avoiding her. But honestly, I'm just tired, worn down. I don't feel like a man." What John didn't know, and what many men don't realize, is that these shifts aren't just aging, they're biochemical, nutritional, hormonal, and in many cases completely reversible. Here's the truth no one tells you. After 60, your body starts absorbing nutrients less efficiently. Testosterone levels decline, blood flow slows, cortisol rises. Mitochondria, your energy engines, wear down. But that's not the end of the story. You see, we've been told a lie. That aging means decline. That vitality, desire, and physical performance are only for the young. That pleasure fades with age, and acceptance is the only answer. I'm here to call BS on that. In fact, a Harvard study found that older adults who maintained optimal vitamin levels had higher sexual satisfaction, improved cardiovascular function, and lower rates of depression, even into their 80s. It's not about chasing youth. It's about reclaiming ownership of your body, your energy, and your confidence. And the best part? The foundation of that comeback begins with 3 simple vitamins. Nutrients you might already have in your kitchen cabinet but aren't using the right way. Stick with me. You'll learn how these vitamins can dramatically improve your blood flow, stamina, self-pleasure, emotional resilience, and yes, your ability to love fully and feel fully again. But first, I want to hear from you. Comment below and tell me, what's been the hardest part of getting older for you? Is it energy, sleep, libido, something else? Let's break the silence. Let's build a space where men can talk openly, without shame, without filters. All right. Let's dive into the root of it all, the biological shifts you need to understand before you can reclaim your power. Let's be honest. Aging does change things. But it's not the gray hair or the extra pounds that shake most men. It's the feeling that their body is no longer theirs. Tom, 76, was a former firefighter, strong, proud, always in motion. But over the last 10 years, he'd noticed a slow, creeping exhaustion. He could still get up and move, but he didn't want to. His workouts felt forced, his desire faded. And intimacy? He told me, "It's like the lights are on but no one's home." What was happening? Let me break it down, simply and truthfully. By the time you hit 60, testosterone production naturally declines by about 1% per year. That might not sound like much, but by 70, that's a 10–20% drop. And that's conservative. Testosterone is more than a sex hormone. It fuels muscle strength, mood, bone density, cognitive sharpness, libido, confidence. Without it, men often feel detached from their bodies, their partners, and their drive. At the same time, blood flow becomes less efficient. Arteries harden, nitric oxide production drops. Your body, especially the reproductive system, depends on strong circulation to function properly. Without it, even if your desire is intact, your body won't always follow. And then, your stress, yes, chronic stress, from finances, illness, or just life, raises cortisol, which directly suppresses testosterone. Long-term cortisol imbalance also affects sleep, libido, and erectile performance. This is not weakness, this is biology. But here's the breakthrough. But malnutrition? Not the kind you see on late-night commercials with starving children. I'm talking about micronutrient malnutrition, the silent epidemic among older men. Your body is a symphony. Hormones, nerves, muscles, and blood vessels all play together, but if even one instrument, like vitamin D, B12, or E is missing or out of tune, the whole system falters. What's wild? A massive University of California study showed that nearly 2/3 of men over 60 had at least one major vitamin deficiency, even those who ate a balanced diet. Why? Because absorption declines with age. Think of your gut like a sponge. At 30, it's thick, porous, and eager to soak up nutrients. At 65, that sponge is thinner, drier. Even if you eat well, you're not absorbing like you used to. Tom, 68, came to me feeling foggy and sluggish. He was doing everything right, eating lean proteins, walking daily, sleeping okay. But he still felt off, low stamina, mood swings. He described it as running on fumes. We tested his levels. He was severely deficient in B12, borderline low in vitamin D, and missing vitamin E entirely. 3 weeks after targeted supplementation, he called me and said, "Dr. Laura, it's like someone flipped a switch in my brain and body. I'm back. Listen, I'm not selling you magic pills, but I am telling you this. If your energy is low, if your sex drive is fading, if you feel not quite yourself, it could be your body's way of screaming, 'Feed me what I need.'" Another myth? That food alone is enough? It should be. But studies from Harvard School of Public Health show that overfarmed soils and modern food processing have stripped key nutrients from even healthy meals. Spinach today has less iron, dairy has less magnesium. Even wild salmon contains lower omega-3s than it did 30 years ago. So no, it's not your fault, it's the environment, the food chain, the natural course of biology. But the solution is in your hands. Start with targeted vitamins, not multivitamins full of filler, real, clinical doses of what your body actually needs, backed by your symptoms and blood work. We'll break each one down, starting with one of the most overlooked and powerful allies in your vitality comeback, vitamin B12. Let's talk about energy, real energy, not the caffeine-jacked jittery kind. I mean deep, lasting, cellular energy. The kind that gets you out of bed ready to move, think, and perform. If you're waking up tired, crashing midday, or feeling mentally fuzzy, your problem may not be age, it may be vitamin B12 deficiency. Here's what B12 does, in plain terms. Converts food into energy, supports nerve health and brain function, helps produce red blood cells, essential for oxygen delivery, stamina, and yes, sexual performance. Now here's the scary part. Up to 30% of adults over 65 are clinically deficient in B12. And many more are borderline. Why? Because as we age, our stomachs produce less hydrochloric acid, which is needed to extract B12 from food. That means even if you eat eggs, beef, or dairy, your body might not be absorbing it. Let me introduce you to George, 74. He was sharp, articulate, but told me he was slipping, forgetting names, losing motivation. And the worst part? He'd lost interest in sex. Not because he didn't care, but because he didn't feel alive enough to pursue it. We tested his B12, it was in the low 200s, dangerously low. We started him on methylcobalamin, the most bioavailable form of B12. Within 10 days? His words, "I feel like someone put the jumper cables on me." His focus sharpened, his libido returned. He even started flirting with his wife again after dinner. This is not a rare story. It's what happens when the body finally gets what it's been quietly begging for. The science backs it too. A 2015 study from Tufts University showed that men with healthy B12 levels had faster reaction times, higher testosterone, lower rates of depression, improved erectile response. Yes, B12 influences blood flow too. So how do you get more? Eat more animal-based foods. Beef, chicken, salmon, eggs, dairy. Consider a supplement. Look for methylcobalamin or B12 shots if you've been deficient long-term. Ask your doctor for a B12 blood test, plus MMA, methylmalonic acid, to detect hidden deficiencies. This is not about guesswork. This is about taking control. Because when your energy returns, so does your power, your presence, your pleasure. And here's the ripple effect. When you feel better, you do better. You laugh more, move more, connect more. You become magnetic again. Tell me in the comments, have you ever tried B12 supplements? What did you notice, and if not, what's one small change you could try this week? Stick with me, because in the next section, we'll explore the sun-powered vitamin that could be the key to boosting your testosterone, blood flow, and morning confidence. You know those days when you just feel dim? Like your inner light has dimmed a little? Your energy's off, you move slower, maybe your mood dips for no reason. It could be more than stress or sleep. It might be a vitamin D3 deficiency, and it's robbing you of your vitality. Let me say this clearly. Vitamin D3 is not just about bones. It's one of the most powerful, testosterone-supporting, circulation-enhancing, performance-boosting nutrients a man can take. And yet, over 40% of men over 60 are deficient, according to a study by the National Institutes of Health. In winter, that number rises even higher, especially if you live in the Northern Hemisphere. Let's talk about why that matters. Vitamin D3 boosts your body's ability to produce nitric oxide, a gas molecule that relaxes blood vessels and improves circulation. Without it, blood flow slows, erections weaken, energy drops, and testosterone production falls off a cliff. You know what that means, physically, emotionally, sexually. Meet Luis, 67, a retired Navy vet who prided himself on morning walks and keeping up with his wife. But over the past year his energy tanked. He was struggling with arousal and even basic intimacy. His doctors chalked it up to aging. We ran labs. His D3 levels were at 18 ng/ml, dangerously low. We brought him up to 50 plus with high-quality D3/K2 supplements, daily sun exposure, and dietary support. The result? He came back after 1 month and smiled. "I got my mornings back, doc. And my nights too." This is not magic, it's biology, and the science, crystal clear. A Boston University School of Medicine study found that men with higher D levels had significantly higher testosterone, better cardiovascular health, and stronger sexual function. Here's how to reclaim your D3. Get sunlight daily. 15 to 20 minutes on bare skin, arms, legs, face. Morning sun is best. Eat D3 foods, salmon, sardines, mushrooms, egg yolks, and fortified dairy. Take D3 with K2. Why? Because D3 helps with calcium absorption, and K2 ensures that calcium goes to bones, not arteries. Start slow. Test your levels. Aim for 40 grams/ml, not just for your heart, not just for your hormones, but for your mood, confidence, and sexual performance. You deserve to feel warm again, from the inside out. Let's talk about your heart. Not just emotionally, I mean your literal, beating heart. The engine of your body, the power center of your blood flow, stamina, and longevity. Now ask yourself, is your engine running as powerfully as it used to? If not, you need to know about coenzyme Q10, or CoQ10, one of the most underrated nutrients for men over 60. Here's why it matters. Your cells, especially in your heart, brain, and muscles, run on a compound called ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Think of ATP as cellular fuel. To make that fuel, you need CoQ10. No CoQ10, no energy. No CoQ10, poor heart output. No CoQ10, low stamina in bed, at the gym, and everywhere else. Now here's the kicker. As you age, your body makes less and less of it. Even worse, if you're on statins, cholesterol-lowering meds, your CoQ10 levels may be cut in half. That's not opinion, it's documented by the American Journal of Cardiology. Let me tell you about Frank, 73. He was on statins for years. But recently, he started feeling winded just walking to his mailbox. He'd lost interest in sex, started napping midday, and couldn't finish workouts. We tested his CoQ10. It was severely depleted. Within 3 weeks of taking 100 ml of ubiquinol, the active form, he said, "Doc, I feel like my battery's been recharged." And the science backs him up. A European Heart Journal study found that CoQ10 supplementation improved heart function, stamina, and quality of life in aging men, especially those on medications. But CoQ10 isn't just about heartbeats. It improves sperm motility and overall sexual performance, cognitive clarity, less brain fog, sharper memory, muscular endurance, so your workouts and libido both benefit. Here's how to boost yours. Take ubiquinol, the most bioavailable form of CoQ10. Dose correctly, 100-200 milligrams daily, preferably with a fatty meal. Pair with lifestyle, walking, breathwork, and resistance training. Amplify CoQ10's benefits. CoQ10 is like putting premium fuel into a classic car. Suddenly the engine purrs. The ride is smooth. And the drive returns, in every sense of the word. Let's talk about one of the most common lies men tell themselves. I eat healthy. I'm good. Sound familiar? You might be eating grilled chicken, leafy greens, a little fruit, maybe even organic. You might have cut back on alcohol, reduced processed foods, and added more fiber, and still, you feel tired. Your drive is low, your sex life is on life support. Here's a harsh truth, eating healthy isn't always enough. Not anymore. Mark, 69, was frustrated when he walked into my office. Dr. Laura, I've cleaned up my diet, I walk every day, I drink water, I even cut out sugar, but I still feel flat. Why is that? Because it's not just about the food anymore. Thanks to modern farming practices, our soil is depleted. A 2004 study from the University of Texas compared vegetables from 1950 to 1999 and found dramatic declines in calcium, iron, B vitamins, and magnesium. That spinach you're eating today, it has less iron and folate than it did when your father ate it. That wild-caught salmon, or less omega-3s, thanks to changing marine ecosystems. Even our fruits are affected. Faster harvesting means less time for nutrients to develop. It's no wonder that men over 60, even those who eat clean, are showing up deficient in multiple essential vitamins, including D, B12, and E. And remember this. As you age, your stomach acid decreases, your enzyme production drops, and your gut bacteria shifts. So even if your food is rich in nutrients, your body might not be absorbing them properly. This is not about blame. It's about adaptation. You're playing the game of life with a changing rulebook, and no one told you the rules changed. Here's what I tell my male patients. Nutrition must evolve with age. You need more support. You need smarter habits. And yes, you may need targeted supplementation. It's not a weakness, it's wisdom. So here's the challenge. Stop saying, I eat healthy, as if it's your finish line. Start asking, is what I eat actually getting into my cells? And we'll answer that in the next section by learning exactly how and when to take these powerhouse vitamins for real results. But first, let me ask you something simple. If you took a high-quality vitamin and then peed it out 2 hours later, did it do you any good? Nope. Timing, pairing, form. These things matter deeply when it comes to vitamin absorption, especially for men over 60. Let's break it down. Vitamin B12. The energy igniter. Best form, methylcobalamin, easier for your brain and nerves to use. When morning is best, B12 can energize and interfere with sleep. Pills. Sublingual drops or tablets, absorb faster than pills. For severe deficiency, talk to your doctor about injections, especially if you've had gut issues or take antacids. Pro tip: if you're vegan or vegetarian, B12 is non-negotiable. You're likely deficient, even with fortified foods. Vitamin D3, with K2. The testosterone and circulation booster, best form, D3, chalcalciferol, more bioavailable than D2. When, with your largest meal of the day, ideally one with healthy fats. How? Combine with vitamin K2, MK7, to protect your arteries and direct calcium to your bones. Test levels. Aim for 40-60 mg/ml. Ask your doctor for a 25-hydroxy test. Pro tip: D3 is fat soluble, so taking it on an empty stomach is like pouring gas on a closed engine. Pair it with avocado, nuts, olive oil, something fatty. Coenzyme Q10, the heart and endurance fuel. Best form, ubiquinol, not ubiquinone. Especially if you're over 60, when take with breakfast or lunch, not before bed, can be too stimulating. How? Absorbs best with fat. Take with eggs, nut butter or olive oil, if on statins. Must supplement. Statins deplete CoQ10 by up to 50%. Pro tip: start with 100 ml/day, and if you're on meds or recovering from heart issues, bump to 200 ml under supervision. You see the pattern? It's not just about what you take, it's about how you take it. That's what separates wasted supplements from real results. And here's something most people miss. Consistency beats intensity. Taking your vitamins once a week in a panic won't cut it. Daily rhythm, proper pairing, testing levels when needed. That's how you fuel long-term vitality, performance, and confidence. So here's your action list. Audit your vitamin routine. Are you taking the right forms at the right times? Look at your meals. Are you pairing fat-soluble nutrients with actual fat? Track your energy. Keep a 7-day log of mood, stamina, libido, and clarity. Comment below, what's your biggest question about vitamin timing or absorption? Let's make this section practical for your life. You've now met the 3 game-changing nutrients, B12, D3, and CoQ10. But here's something most people don't realize. In your body, nutrients work in teams, not silos. Just like you can't build a house with only a hammer, you can't rebuild your energy and confidence without the support players that make the big 3 even more effective. Let me introduce you to your bonus stack, a few simple additions that multiply your results. Magnesium, the master mineral. You need magnesium for testosterone production, nerve function, muscle recovery, and deep sleep. Low magnesium equals more cortisol, equals lower testosterone. Low magnesium equals poor sleep, equals weaker recovery, and libido. Here's the kicker. According to the Journal of the American College of Nutrition, up to 70% of adults over 60 are deficient. Best forms: magnesium glycinate, for sleep plus anxiety, or citrate, for digestion. Take 200-400 milligrams daily, preferably at night. Pro tip: if you cramp easily, wake up tense, or sleep lightly, this is your missing link. Zinc carcone. The testosterone supporter zinc is essential for sperm production, libido, and immune health. Low zinc equals reduced testosterone, low zinc equals delayed arousal and recovery, low zinc equals weak immune defense. One 2020 NIH clinical trial found that daily zinc supplementation increased testosterone in older men within 6 weeks. Best forms: zinc picolinate or citrate, dose 15 megadoses, unless deficient. Pro tip: take it with food. Empty stomach: zinc equals nausea, and never take it alongside iron or calcium, which can block absorption. Omega-3s, EPA, and DHA. The anti-aging fat. These essential fats improve blood flow, brain health, and mood regulation. They also reduce inflammation, which is one of the root causes of erectile dysfunction. Best source: wild-caught fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, sardines. Supplement form: fish oil. Look for at least 500 mg EPA plus 250 mg DHA daily. When to take? With food, preferably a fat-intaking meal. Pro tip: fish burps, freeze your capsules, and take them with your biggest meal. Adaptogens, for stress, mood, and libido. Stress is one of the most silent killers of testosterone and sexual desire. Chronic cortisol crushes your motivation, energy, and ability to connect intimately. Here's what helps. Ashwagandha, proven to lower cortisol and boost T levels. Maca root, enhances libido, stamina, and emotional well-being. Rhodiola, fights fatigue, improves resilience. These are not stimulants, they're gentle regulators. Especially powerful for men in their 60s and 70s. Pro tip: try a blend with all 3 and track mood, desire, and sleep over 14 days. Now, let's be clear. These are not required, but if you're serious about reclaiming your vitality, they're the smart additions that take your results from good to game-changing. Let's pause for a moment and ask something real. What would your life look like if you felt vibrant again? If you had the energy to move through your day with strength, the focus to lead with clarity, the desire to love without hesitation, and the stamina to follow through? That's not a fantasy. That's what happens when your body starts getting what it's been begging for all along. This isn't just about blood flow or hormone levels, it's about power, presence, pleasure. Let me tell you about Andre, 71. He came to me after his second divorce. He felt like a shadow of the man he used to be. Low drive, slow movement, quiet mood. He wasn't depressed, but he wasn't alive either. We ran labs. We corrected his D3, B12, and CoQ10. We added magnesium and zinc. We addressed his sleep, stress, and hydration. After just 4 weeks, he came in glowing. He had started dating again, reconnected with his adult kids. He was walking 2 miles every morning, cooking again, even flirting at the grocery store. He said, "Dr. Laura, I don't just feel like a man again, I feel like myself again." That's the goal, not to be younger, but to be you, fully. When these nutrients take effect, you'll notice more energy in the morning, sharper memory and mental clarity, better circulation both for your brain and below the belt, deeper sleep and easier recovery, increased libido and stronger sexual performance. But more importantly, you show up for life, for your partner, for yourself. You walk differently, you speak with presence, you take initiative again. That ripple affects everything: your work, your relationships, your peace of mind. So here's my ask to you. Don't just watch this video. Do something. Go back through this series, make a checklist. Talk to your doctor. Order your first supplement. Get sunlight tomorrow morning.